The story rewinds to the night of Im-sol's accident before her time travel journey. That night, Im-sol fell asleep on the bus, missing her stop. Sun-jae was unsure whether to wake her, but his friend In-hyuk encouraged him, thinking it would be a chance for Sun-jae to spend more time with her. However, Im-sol woke up at the next stop and got off, while Sun-jae stayed behind to gather his things. By the time he noticed she was gone, the bus was already moving. It started to rain, and Im-sol thought about taking a taxi. But noticing a rope and other strange items inside the driver's car, she pretended her mom was picking her up. Unfortunately, the driver wasn't deterred. He drugged and kidnapped her. Meanwhile, Sun-jae, shielding himself with his bag, rushed to the bus stop where she had exited but saw no sign of her and assumed she'd already taken a cab. Im-sol woke up in the kidnapper's car and managed to escape while he was away from the vehicle. She found a razor, cut herself free, and ran as the driver chased her down in his car. Just as she neared a reservoir, she saw Sun-jae coming toward her. The driver sped up, hit Im-sol, and she fell into the water. Sun-jae dived in to rescue her, but the driver returned and attacked him. A struggle ensued until the police arrived, and Sun-jae managed to restrain the kidnapper. Back in the present, Sun-jae finds Im-sol's umbrella abandoned on the road, sensing something is wrong. He rushes to her house, and her brother Im-gyum says she is missing. Im-gyum mentions that she had been acting oddly and refusing to go out that day. Sun-jae recalls the night he rescued her at the reservoir and heads there, but she isn't there. He tries to report it to the police, but they dismiss him, thinking he's just as paranoid as Im-sol, who had recently warned them about her own safety. Frustrated, Sun-jae returns to the reservoir. This time, Im-sol's memory helps her escape the car, and she takes the car keys with her. However, the cab driver chases her down in his truck. Sun-jae spots her just as she stumbles. He calls her name, and in that moment, she's ready to accept her fate. Thankfully, another car pulls up, scaring off the driver. Her watch glitches, and the number changes from 2 to 1. As she faints, she briefly sees Sun-jae, but doesn't recognize him. Im-sol then wakes up in what seems to be the Joseon era, but soon realizes it's just the set of a K-drama. In this altered reality, she now works for the film company that once rejected her. Sun-jae is a successful star, and her company is trying to sign him for a new series. She returns on the day she and Sun-jae had promised to open a time capsule, but she arrives late, missing him. He digs up the capsule and takes it home. Grateful he's alive, she watches his house from afar. Meanwhile, a stalker in a white fur coat resembling Im-sol's attempts to enter Sun-jae's apartment. Security intervenes, and in the scuffle, the stalker drops a poster and escapes. The guards mistake Im-sol for the stalker and take her to the police station. After a stern warning, they release her, and she heads home. In this version of reality, she's no longer a fan of Eclipse and doesn't have any fan memorabilia or the time-traveling watch. Im-sol begins experiencing nightmares about something terrible happening to Sun-jae, but at least there's a silver lining. She now owns a car. The next day, Im-sol's boss confronts her about the misunderstanding with the supposed stalker, believing it's why Sun-jae turned down their offer. She gives Im-sol a chance to meet Sun-jae to clarify things. At the same time, Sun-jae and his team assume the stalker is someone who joined the film industry to get closer to her idols, unaware that Im-sol is the one who was mistaken for the stalker. On the day of their meeting, Im-sol gets a call from her friend Hyun-woo, who's about to give birth and needs her help. Im-sol rushes out of the hotel, accidentally knocking Sun-jae into a fountain in her hurry. Neither sees the other's face. She leaves her contact card with his manager, who realizes she's the stalker and tells Sun-jae. Upset, Sun-jae asks her to pay for his ruined clothes. At the hospital, Im-sol is shocked to find Hyun-woo married to her brother, Im-gyum, and expecting their second child. Another happy twist in this reality. Later, Sun-jae's manager messages her with the clothing repair cost. Surprised at the price, she challenges him for proof. Sun-jae, irritated, almost sends a picture of his clothes but refrains, which Im-sol takes as a victory. Sun-jae, still annoyed, instructs his manager to press charges. With the misunderstanding escalating, Im-sol's boss tells her to back away from the project, and the police call her to sign a restraining order. At the station, she learns Sun-jae's end-of-year concert was postponed and is happening that evening. Determined to clear things up, Im-sol heads to the concert but can't get in. She tries to reach Sun-jae's manager, hoping for a chance to apologize. The manager delivers her bouquet and contact card to Sun-jae, who's already on stage. Meanwhile, Im-sol waits outside and hears Sun-jae singing. Overcome with emotion, she heads to the bridge where they first met. She's torn, hoping both to see him and that he won't come. As she's about to leave, Sun-jae arrives, glad to see her. His manager urges him to go to the after-party, but in a moment of desperation, Im-sol asks him to spend the night with her. On January 1st, 2023, Sun-jae grows impatient and decides to unearth the time capsule early. Inside, he finds a letter from Im-sol thanking him for his friendship, along with a watch she left as a gift. Deeply touched, he looks forward to their planned reunion, only for them to miss each other later that day. That night, after his concert, Sun-jae realizes that Im-sol is the one who left him flowers. Excited, he rushes to meet her. They find each other on the bridge, and Im-sol asks him to spend the night with her, wanting to keep him safe from the danger she believes is near. Without hesitation, Sun-jae cancels his after-party plans and gets into Im-sol's car. They drive to a hotel, but despite Im-sol's initial worries that he might expect something romantic, Sun-jae leads her to the hotel lounge so they can talk in private. They catch up, each pretending they hadn't gone to retrieve the time capsule. Sun-jae assures her he's been doing fine, and Im-sol is quietly relieved to see him alive and well. Meanwhile, online rumors start swirling that Sun-jae skipped the after-party to meet a mystery woman. His friend In-hyuk warns him that paparazzi are gathering outside the hotel. Sun-jae asks Im-sol to stay behind as he sneaks out, promising to call her later. But determined to keep him safe, Im-sol grabs an umbrella and leads them both out, hiding from the cameras. Back at Sun-jae's place, Im-sol's mom calls her to say that she are at Im-sol's grandmother's house for the night because of a plumbing issue. Im-sol tells her mom she's staying with someone, which leaves Sun-jae both nervous and hopeful. They end up sharing ramen, and Im-sol playfully pretends to fall asleep. Sun-jae brings up her earlier comment, prompting Im-sol to reveal her worry. She explains that she dreamt something terrible would happen to him that night. Sun-jae brushes it off with a laugh, as he's used to her concerns, and assures her that he's perfectly fine. Meanwhile, a man appears outside Im-sol's apartment. It's Tae-sung, though his intentions remain unknown. Back in his apartment, Sun-jae tries to keep Im-sol company, but things get awkward when she sees an anime character standee on his bed. As they share a moment and nearly kiss, In-hyuk barges in, drunk and oblivious. Sun-jae quickly hides Im-sol in the closet, while In-hyuk drunkenly teases him about his feelings for her. When they're finally alone again, Im-sol sees Sun-jae's time capsule on the table. They share an honest conversation about their past, and Im-sol opens up, apologizing and admitting that she missed him. As he drives her home, she takes a chance and thanks him for always being there. Her confession takes a moment to register with Sun-jae, who chases her down to confirm her feelings. They share a heartfelt kiss before being interrupted by a plumbing crew, forcing Im-sol to pretend Sun-jae is her brother. The next day, the two are so happy thinking about the kiss that they can't help but smile to themselves throughout the day. However, Im-sol's happiness is short-lived. She gets a call from her mom asking her to talk to Hyun-ju. Apparently, Im-gum lost all their savings after investing in a friend's business. Hyun-ju is so angry she kicks Im-gum out of the house and threatens to divorce him. Im-sol talks to her, and Hyun-ju admits she is angry but won't leave Im-gum. She says even if she had a chance to go back and change her fate, she would still choose this life as no one knows how life happens. Later, she gets a call from Sun-jae, who asks why she gave him the watch. Im-sol explains that she wanted time to keep flowing for him. Sun-jae flirts back and says time is flowing now that she is back in his life. They make plans to meet in the evening. For the rest of the day, they keep missing each other's calls. After work, Im-sol remembers C left her car at Sun-jae's place. She calls Sun-jae, but he is in the shower and misses her call. Im-sol decides to pick up her car and sees a man looking like the cab driver. It turns out to be someone else, and Im-sol gets out of the car. He calls her back, but this time, Im-sol misses his call as she chases after his stalker. She manages to catch the stalker and is surprised to learn the girl is only 14 years old. She takes the girl to a local restaurant and tries to talk to her about the consequences of her actions. Simultaneously, we see Sunjae receiving a call from a close friend who asks for his room number. There is a knock on the door, and Sunjae wonders why the friend is asking if he already knew. On the phone, the friend is confused and says he is not there yet. We circle back to Im-sol, who is still at the restaurant with the stalker. She is shocked when she hears the breaking news that Sunjae was attacked by the cab driver who recently got out of jail. According to the reporter, Sunjae is fighting for his life on the surgery table. Im-sol is too shocked and falls on her knees, wondering how and why all these happened.